What about the rehydration clause? Let's talk about that. I don't know if I don't think you guys have even like talked about that, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about, the 10-pound rehydration clause for Tank and Ryan. So they have to weigh in at 136 on the weigh-in day, and then that the morning of the fight can't be over 146. What do you guys think about that?
Me personally, I mean, speaking of, I seen Shawn do it. I mean, hey, whatever it takes to make the fight, man.
Yeah.
10 pounds. Uh, and what time is that? 24 hours after the weigh-in, or the morning of?
I think it's the morning of, as far
Okay,
as,
so then after that you can gain a little bit more. But
yeah. But
yeah, I don't think too much into it. Honestly, I see Ryan keeps bringing it up, but at the end of the day, I mean, whatever it takes to make this fight, you agree to it.
mhm.
Let's rumble. At the end of the day, both of the guys, they're not the biggest guys in the world, so I figure that they come in around maybe 145,
Yeah.
150 fight night.
But what about like the fact that we've never seen Tank, he's never done that before. Because there was an interview of Robert Garcia, and he was kind of talking about how Tank's never done that before. So in a way, he felt the need to take advantage of that from Ryan. What do you think about that, Shawn? Do you take anything away from that, or is it just something you have to be somewhat smart about? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we haven't talked about this yet on the podcast, so I'm not going to say much about it because I don't want to give up all of my
This
content.
guy.
But yeah, I think I was under the assumption that Tank was Tank's Tank's team was the one that made this agreement. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
I don't.
Was that disclosed?
That's something that I feel
They
like
made the agreement, right?
that's something that I feel like you can't really know for a fact, though, right?
Mhm.
You could just say
Yeah,
that.
you can. Like with the last fight, we know with the last fight we know that the ring size was negotiated and brought up by Caleb Plant and his team.
Yeah,
And we also know that Caleb Plant's team brought up the situation with Benavidez's braids, and so Benavidez's team came back about the beard. So we do know that these negotiations can get extremely
detail.
precise and I was under the assumption that Tank brought this clause up because they want to try to make Ryan as small as he can be, as
Yeah,
small as as he can be on fight night. I think also the rehydration clause will force a fighter that has never done it before to be a little nervous or a little anxious or be a little antsy about everything that you're eating. I remember when I first started doing the rehydration clause, it was like I would eat, I would drink, and then I go get on the scale. I'm good. All right, let me eat, let me drink some more because it was
yeah.
like we didn't have a protocol. And that's the main thing is if you're working with rehydration clause, you want to have a protocol. So I'm assuming that both teams are going to be working hard to try to figure out what that protocol needs to be, and I think that it will work into the benefit of Tank and his team, or at least that's what they want. They want it to work into his advantage to try to keep Ryan as small as they can keep him until later closest fighters they can be.
Because they asked him in an interview, they asked him about the rehydration clause, and he said you got to be smart. And so that from that response, that tells me that he kind of did have a bit of a say in it, at least to say the least. But I'm not saying that it's gonna. I think it is smart. Like, why would you get in the ring with a guy? I don't care how much of a social media influencer boxer you think he is. That power is like kind of undeniable. So in my eyes, my perspective, I just think it's smart, but you can't like everyone's saying Tank's scared because of it. I don't think you can say he's scared. I think you just have to like he's taking a page out of Floyd's book where you kind of have to be smart in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And at the end of the day, people don't understand. And so, that's what I encourage a lot of fighters to do. Like stay off of social media and stay out of those. If you didn't do the interview, don't even look at it. Don't read about it because you'll hear something that is not true or
Mhm.
contradicts something that you believe, and then all of a sudden now you're compromising your own integrity because of what other people are saying. And I got a feeling that if people are saying, "Oh, Tank's scared," if Tank sees that, He's like, so what? Y'all can say anything y'all want to say. That's not gonna stop me from doing what I want to do. And that's how fighters should look at it and think about it, because when you think that is fear, I look at it as intelligence. And
Mhm.
because I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna change all of this that you think is fear. It'll all make sense when it's supposed to, but for now, I'll let you think that it's fear and anything else that you want it to be.
I find it kind of crazy, but I know you've obviously, experienced it, but isn't it kind of interesting to think about how uneven the sport of boxing is and how the negotiation process can make it so much of a one-sided fight, even despite Tank being the favorite. You kind of the fight's never on an even playing field. Does that make sense? Like rarely do I see a fight where the terms are like equal for both guys. It's always playing into somebody's favor at least a little bit.
Bottom line is, if there was a same day weigh-in like there used to be in the 80s and before
Mhm.
that, like you wouldn't see a lot of guys in the weight classes that they're in. If there
Exactly.
was a same day weigh-in, you would never have seen me at welterweight. I would have been at super welter and then working my way from there. And there's a lot of guys who benefit from there being a day before weigh-in. And so the same thing, I think all the way across the board, everybody should be doing a rehydration clause.
Exactly.
Everyone should be implementing all of these little small intricacies that enhance the sport, because where the welterweight division is popping, the super welterweight division could be popping just the same if guys were fighting in the weight classes that they belong in. You see 130-pound fighters that should be fighting at 140, but because of that day before weigh-in, they're able to squeeze into that, kill themselves in the process, and then
Mhm.
rehydrate back up. But then the same thing works against them when you see a fighter get knocked out, and you're like, damn, it's because that guy didn't have enough. He didn't rehydrate himself.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough water working through his body, helping him operate. And so when you see a lot of guys get hurt in fights, it's because number one, they didn't train properly and lose the weight properly. And then number two, they didn't put the weight on properly. They didn't put the weight back on properly. And so I think that we could save a lot of lives if, like you just said, all the way across the board, things were done a certain way.
Yeah. And the Ryan's posting a lot on social media, him on the scale. I don't know how accurate it is, but I'm gonna assume it's true. But he said on social media he posted that he's weighing 141 already. That's a pretty good sign, right?
Yeah, I mean, and when you're doing it like that, I hope that there's someone in his camp that can tell him when to get rest, and I hope that he's getting the proper rest. You'll get you'll have a fight, and it's the biggest moment in your career, and you're gassed up and you're turned on for so long, and then you'll have a day. We have a shitty day. Well, you had a shitty day because you were just so turned on mentally.
We lose him.
Sean, the water got in, the sauna got into his phone.
It caught on fire. I'm worried about him now. Look
No,
at the pose; it just froze though.
yeah, I know that's crazy.
But what was he talking about?
He was talking about just rehydration and Ryan just being on weight already at 141
oh
that
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
mentioned.
What do you think? What do you think about that? He's already at 141, so that's 5 pounds, and he still has how long to go? More than 2 weeks?
Yeah, what, two or 3 weeks.
Pretty
Basically,
good.
said 2 weeks, which is a good sign. Means he's focused, ready to go. I'm not mad at it. I'll take it if you can be on weight within 2 weeks of the fight. What, he got to lose another 5 pounds?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, I'll take it. I just, the weight thing is just a killer. It's been stressful for me ever since Shawn missed weight against Ugas.
Yeah.
It's never been the same again. Like literally, Shawn weigh-ins was stressful.
Well, that's gonna do it for another NASFIGHT Media, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for another NASFIGHT Media. Well, that's gonna do it for another NASFIGHT Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Manabon with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.